positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. You have now tuned in to the Imperfect Fathers Podcast.
Guy, what's up?
Shaking, my dude.
What's up, bro?
How you, man?
Chilling, baby.
Nothing more.
Back at it again?
Yes, sir. We still breathing. We are
Yes,
still
we are.
at it. We are still doing our 1-2. Oh, yo, man, listen. Wow. How we doing? We all right?
Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you.
Yes, indeed. This is another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. I am your boy, RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and...
I'm your boy, JP, the Imperfect Husband.
Yeah, you already know. We are back in the building for another episode, and we here once again, man. How was your week, bro?
It was great, bro.
Yeah?
It was great. And I got to put this on D&D.
Yeah, everybody in the fam right now is like, you're hollering at you right now. We're trying to get you some content right now. Let the man live. You know what I mean? I even told my wife just now, I'm like, yo, we recording right now. Leave me alone. At least an hour. At least.
Oh, you going to get snuffed.
Yo, what else is new? So as you can see, I'm rocking.
Oh, so now you ain't going to get snuffed.
Yeah. I'm rocking
You're not going to get snuffed.
a little momentum that
I see what you're doing here.
Yeah. I'm making sure that I'm in the right graces. You dig what I'm saying?
I see what you're doing here.
It's been enough of those episodes in our segment called "Am I the Only One?" has got me in a little trouble. You know what I mean? So I got to make sure
Okay.
I do right. But that don't mean I ain't got no "Am I the Only One?" this week. That don't mean that either. So don't get that twisted. But one thing we must do before we do anything else, as always, guys, we got to make sure that we talk to the Father
Yes,
and do our due diligence. So with that being said, gracious and eternal Father, God, we thank you for another opportunity just to be sitting in these chairs behind these microphones, just to give you grace and give you thanks. Thank you for your grace you've given us. Thank you for the mercy and thank you for everything that you've given us. Right now, Father, we ask you to make sure that we are in alignment with who you are and what we stand on, God, and also be the God to anyone who's listening to us right now. Go out there and touch everyone in a special way and be what they need you to be to them. In these prayers, we do ask in the master name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
So, my guy, how was your week so great this week? What's up, man? What was the highlight of this week that made it great?
Baby girl graduated from 8th grade.
Talk to me nice.
So it was-
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Little sentimental, whatnot. So good.
It was a moment.
See the achievements and, seeing her dealing with her friends that she had just made for this 1 year.
Yeah.
How they became close, and
Bonded.
there's some of her friends that are going with her to the high school she's going to, and so on and so forth. So it was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah. And one thing I've learned, bro, when I see our children and like different things, because for me this week, my daughter turned 8. Yeah, man.
That's right.
Shout out to
That's right. Happy birthday to the niece.
Man. Absolutely. So, it was crazy because this year it was different than any other year. Like normally, the day before her birthday, she's excited, asking questions about what's going to happen the next day. This year, she was more taking control, like, of planning what's going to happen. So I'm just looking at her like, okay.
Okay.
The roles are starting to change a little bit. I see it's no longer about
entrepreneurial skills are kicking in.
Yeah, you said that last episode.
It's not bossy.
It's not bossy, it's entrepreneurial, huh? Okay. I'm gonna remember that when Celine get on her bossy.
I done learned. I've been
But shout out to you, Celine, for graduating and going to the next level in life, man. And that's something that we also celebrate, not only for our children, but for us, bro, because their accomplishments are our accomplishments.
That's a fact.
You dig what I'm saying? So when somebody this week told me happy birthday, I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. I was a part of that birthday. It was my birthday. And shout out to my wife because she did the work on that day. Yo, let me ask you a
You
question.
better make sure you get that out there.
Yo, let me ask you. So hold on, this is a good time. Am I the only one then? Yo, so So am I the only one that when my child was born, everybody was saluting me? Like, was I the only one that was getting no salutes?
Were they saluting you not in front of your wife?
Yo, yeah, no, seriously. When she was in the bed,
take that court.
no, she was in the bed knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like she was in the bed. I'm talking about directly after, like, you know, she was like stretched out, ate her food and all that. I'm walking down the hallway. They're like, yo, congratulations. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm hitting myself in the chest.
Yeah,
I get the elevator.
You get that?
I get the elevator. I'm like, I hear nothing. I'm being saluted right now, but everybody, and I ain't doing a damn thing in the last 24 hours, but stand up. That's all.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Hold my hand, but don't touch me.
But don't touch me.
Yeah, for all the mothers that we were triggering right now, we apologize. Well, we remember that process.
Why are you not right here?
Get away from me.
All right, baby. All right. Don't touch me.
Why
This is your fault.
Why are you here? You just told me to come here.
This is your fault. All your fault.
Every time you look at me, don't look at me no more. She told me that at Joe, and she's like, every time you look at me, I get pregnant. Don't look at me. So we are. Those are the moments of actual, like, you look back now and you're like, yo, we were in stressed out moments. Those are some heated moments we was in with those pregnancies.
I got down to Mount Sinai in like 10 minutes, all the way from YO.
Word.
I was jumping over everything I could find. It didn't matter.
Yo, so I almost got in trouble by the police. I'll tell you about the story.
No.
With Josiah. So she was walking around, not walking around frolicking, but you know, second baby, she was like, oh, I'm good. So in all actuality, she was having contractions and labor, and she's walking around in the store. So she called me at my job at the time. She's like, yo, babe, I think might be going time to the hospital, so I'm making your way to the house. Okay. I'm making my way. Now I'm walking home now because she has the car. So I'm walking off my job to my apartment. And in mid-walk, I get another phone call. Okay, it's serious. We're going to the hospital right now. So now I'm like, okay, well, the car, you have it. She goes, no, I'm leaving it at the house, and my coworker is going to bring me to the hospital. Cool, no problem. So now in my mind, I'm like, I got a few minutes. Last time, for Imani, we had some time. I get a phone call, I get in the house, I'm trying to figure out what shirt I'm going to wear, right? I'm getting dressed, and my phone rings, it's her. And I hear she goes, hold on, babe, hold on. I don't know what to tell you. I'm having a baby. And somebody's in the room, and you hear lady in the background, she sounds a little annoyed. She's like, but you got to wait. There's people before you. And I hear my wife goes, well, guess what? I'm not waiting anymore. And you hear, psh, ah. The lady goes, come on, oh my God, come on. And the phone hangs up. So I'm like, oh, snap. Yo, I get in the car. Now I'm booking, bro. And mind you, I'm coming from Tamarack to Coral Springs. So you know the police in Coral Springs, they're nothing to play with.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm doing 90 down the back blocks. Stopping, going. I get to a red light. Now I'm thinking about running it. Thinking about, like, I can clear this light. And as soon as I think about running it, a cop pulls up on the side of me. So now my heart is palpitating because he looks over at me. I'm like, yo, he just seen what I just finished doing. I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. So because I was panicked, I wrote the window down like, officer, my wife's having a baby. Like, I was panicking. I didn't know what to say. I'm like, yo, she's having a baby. He goes, oh my God, is she in the car? I'm like, no. She's at the hospital, but I'm not there. I need to get there. And she's going to kill me if I'm not there. He was like, got you. So he turned his lights on, bro. He went to the middle of this section, turned his lights on. Let me clear through, right? Now, this is the part where I said to myself, anybody who runs from police, you flat out stupid. Yo, I booked down the street, right? As he let me in the intersection, I'm talking about I'm 60, 70 miles per hour past him. No problem. Pulls right in front of me. I'm like, yo, I'm flooring my car, and he is simply just right in front of me, and he escorts me all the way to the hospital. When I get there, he just yells, get out of the car. I'll park it, leave it. So my friend that works in the hospital sees everything going downstairs. I throw him the keys. I run to the front desk. They were just not cleaning the water up. The water broke up. And they're like, sir, what's the matter? I'm panicked. I'm frantic. I can't really get no words out. I'm like, where's my wife? They're like, sir, we don't know you. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you? I'm like, yeah, the woman that did that. The woman that did that right there, where is she? She's like, oh, you're her husband? She's looking for you. I'm like, yes, help me get to her. So the little Haitian man runs me upstairs now, bro. And I'm talking about as soon as I get in there, the lady goes, how can I help you? I'm like, I'm the husband. Help me get right. What do you mean? Help me. So she puts me in my gown, washes my hands, and I'm standing aside of her, and she holds the nurse's hands, squeezes her hand to death. The nurse is like, gets my hand and puts my hand in hers and walks away. She's like, now my wife is squeezing my hand. She's screaming. Doctor walks in very nonchalantly. Hey, how you guys doing? And the moment he sits down, I'm talking about he sits his butt down in the chair, he goes and looks up at me. I look at him, I said, Doc, did you almost drop my son? He goes, yep. I caught him up. Here you go. I was like, yo, come on, bro. Like, they got for your hands, bro, because he caught him by the dome piece. Like, whoop. I was like, that could have been bad. But I didn't know. Am I the only one that ever went through kind of that kind of frantic motion for their child being born?
Nah.
I was going to jail that day, bro.
It happens. I know you're not the only one. Let us know down below.
Please comment down below.
Let us know down below. Tell us your story down below. We'll be reading all the comments.
We do read the comments. We do that. Yo, so real quick, shout out to the NBA Finals, man.
Yeah, let's go.
Shout out to...
Let's go Mavs.
You going with the Mavs?
Let's go Mavs.
You going with the Mavs this year?
Sir.
Okay.
I know my Dominicans are gonna be really mad right now because we got our Hartford on Boston, but I'm sorry. I'm a hardcore New Yorker.
Yeah.
We don't go for Boston.
Facts.
Ever.
On that note, on everything, I was sitting there with a real dilemma about that because I'm a Jason Tatum fan.
Okay.
I love Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown, I love him. And they got my man, Kristaps Porzingis. We drafted him.
Did crazy.
You know what I'm saying? We drafted him, and he went berserk. But, yo, that's the one thing about us Knicks, bro. Like, we bring some great talent in. We don't never see him through. And then they go off somewhere else and get a chip.
Bro, only time I've ever rooted for Boston in my life was their last game against the Pacers. Why? Ask me.
Yeah, because the Pacers beat us.
They damn right.
Yo, our enemy is our friend, right? You know what I mean? Our enemy's enemy is
Never
our friend.
in my life have I gone for Boston. That day I was like, yeah, beat them. Beat their ass. Beat that ass.
As a fact, they took us out, so we got to ride with the what took us out.
Hartford would have been on any other team, I would have been a fan of that team.
Yeah, man. And yo, honestly, Al deserves it, bro. He deserves
The OG.
He deserves it, bro. I was following him when he was down here in Florida and the Gators, man. Like, he been doing things for years.
Yeah.
He needs to get this chip to solidify, not solidify his career, because like he still have a great career no matter what, but just to put that ending cap on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I know it would make him feel phenomenal.
Man,
What, 18 years? I think it is?
he's already legend status in DR.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
you know that ring, all it'll do is it'll give him that seal.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna hate on the man. He's a brother in arms. You know what I'm saying? He's from we're from the same country.
Yeah.
Damn, you could have picked another team.
Yo, so I'm going with the Mavs because I do want to see Kyrie get another ring.
Yes, sir.
I ain't gonna lie about that. I do want to see my boy Kyrie get that.
I think Kyrie's been hated on too much.
Yes.
And it's about time he vindicates that.
And all y'all that got the energy, keep that same energy. Like, if you going hate hard.
You know who's really mad right now, though?
Stephen A. Smith?
No.
Nah, not Stephen.
Nike mad right now. For real. They mad for real.
Yeah.
They traded Kyrie for Ja. And what did Ja do?
Show his ignorance and youth.
And now Kyrie released his brand.
Yeah.
And first person he signs is who? His father. Bang.
Got him.
Legend status.
Hey, and when I
Crazy.
tell you,
Let's go.
when I tell you, like, if you have the energy to hate on somebody when they're down, yo, please keep that same energy when they're
up.
So, like, that's why I said Stephen A. Smith. Like, I hate when somebody get on somebody's case. You know what I'm saying? They talk crazy about somebody, But when it's time to praise them, they don't have that same vigor, right? They don't do it with that same intensity as they did when they was on their back.
Yep.
That's so like my thing is like, yo, keep the same energy, man. Shout out to Kyrie, because at the end of the day, one thing has been consistent.
Yep.
He's a little out there with his thought process because the world being flat. I'm not with you on that one, Kyrie, but for the most part, if you own who you are, bro, as a man, I'm solid with you, bro. And look at this man now. The jab. He was denying the jab. Now he looks like the man, right? Because what happened? All that stuff about the COVID-19 and all that, what happened? So now, had he let his morals down or changed his outlook on life, and now we're where we are now, knowing we know now,
Yep.
he'd have been stabbed up.
Yep. He would have lived with that regret.
And that's the one thing I'm going to stand on business with and tell anybody, yo, if you believe it within your heart, just stand on business about it. Don't let nobody change you. Don't let nobody shake your path or your foundation. Stand on what you believe on, man.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, it's going to come work out for your favor anyway. Good, bad, or indifferent. Because if you're wrong, it's a learning experience. You dig what I'm saying?
Yep. Tony.
So we are in a month, man. We are in mental health month, men's mental health month, man. That's a big month for us.
Yes, it is. Father's Day around the corner too.
Facts. Which is like celebration time, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's time for us to turn up for us.
And please don't give me no tools. I got enough.
No more ties.
No more ties.
No more wallets.
Or socks.
Word. I'm good. I'm good on the socks, though. Wife beaters, t-shirts, and all those things. I'm Gucci on. You know what I'm saying? But that's nothing too, bro.
I watch Ultra will do though.
Whoa. Yeah. Well, you know,
Men and gadgets, it's like women and nails.
Facts. That's a fact. And my wife, you know, I got a few gadgets up in my cart.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Up in my Amazon cart. So
let's go.
I'm gonna slide it in your DM. Don't try to ignore my slide. You dig what I'm saying? Don't ignore my slide in your DM, man. Your fellas, make sure this Father's Day that you're not just leaving it up to their chance or their imagination. Let's be more vocal this year. As Jose just did. Like, if you have a wish, make it be known. You know what I'm saying? Like, say it. And we got to stop getting out of this habit where we believe that.
Oh, they should know.
Right.
They should know.
That's nonsense.
We've been together 20 years. You should know.
And that's like, that has some merit to it because like some things like,
yeah, but you're not the same person you were 5 years ago.
Right. And your wants and your desire is not the same. So
let's
say it. Get into the habit of saying it, yo. Like
communication is key, guys.
And for the ones who have a hard time, unpack why you have a hard time asking for what you want, because that's a real thing. Me as a men's confidence coach, do you know I'm just helping a man realize that he had a hard time accepting compliments. That's a confidence issue. If you can't let somebody tell you, yeah, it's a nice hat on your head, bro, or you look nice today.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. There you go. No confidence issue right there. Because we as men, we don't take compliments, and we don't do well with people giving us stuff.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like us being receptive to things. And that's why I realize, like, we'll say that we don't get what we want on Father's Day, but how many times have we said what we want? Right? How many times have we articulated to our people, yo, this is what I want this year for Father's Day?
Yeah. We do have to be a lot more vocal when it comes to that. Communication is key. We can't expect to believe that they know every single thing that we want, and vice versa.
Right.
And vice versa, because it goes both ways when it comes to that. We, if there's something that you want, let it be known. And then that comes also in the livelihood of the relationship.
Yes.
It's not only on Father's Day. No, it has to do with everything that has to do with the relationship. If you don't like how something is going, then it needs to be spoken about.
Yeah.
It needs to be said. So communication is key. Communication is key to longevity.
Absolutely. And so this year, right, I've been thinking to myself, I had a young man, I was telling you, in the green room that was really heartbroken about not being able to be with his father this year for Father's Day.
Yeah.
And amongst us brainstorming and thinking of things to do, I had the idea of a virtual event for fathers.
Okay.
So now go with me for a second. I'm gonna paint this picture.
Okay.
You, your dad, and your family, for whatever reason, they can't be around you this year. They can't make them way to you, or they're wherever they are, but they want to spend time and they want to give you your flowers, right? They want to tell you how much they mean to you. So why don't we create a space where we can bring everybody in online? The dad sits, chills, have a slideshow go past of all memories, and then allowing each person of the family shower him with his flowers. Because the thought process is, I heard a video a few weeks ago about how they'll stand around a box and cry. And then they'll stand in front of a microphone and give 5 to 7 minutes about all the things they loved about him. But for the 50 to 70 years he was on this earth, not one time did they stand around him and shower those same flowers with him. So why not on this Father's Day, right? Sit down, have your father sit down and just flood him with his flowers. Show him the appreciation that he won't see when he's in that casket.
It's a good start. It is definitely a good start. And after that point, it should continue.
Absolutely.
It should continue. At least once a week.
Yeah.
Cool. Yo, Pops, you know what? I was thinking about you.
That's it.
I was thinking about you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the things you've done.
Mm-hmm.
A month later, yo, Pops, you know what? I remember something I did to you not so way long back. You probably don't remember, but you know what? I'm sorry, Pops. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. And it's what a lot of us fathers, most men, we don't want the work that we feel like we've done to go without being seen or done, right? Or affected. So that coming back and say, yo, Dad, by the way, I understood that.
Yeah, I get it.
That right there is
it means
the
life.
Biggest gift you can give to a father. Like that's the greatest gift that we can feel, because it's like, yo, what we've done and means something. And it's not just something we said, but it's something that's implanted, right? There's something that's going to be there.
We have the most unappreciative job that exists in life.
Facts.
And it's being a father.
Absolutely.
We don't get enough roses. We don't get enough compliments. Not even enough. We just don't get them.
Right.
As we should.
Yeah.
You know? And we don't, and we keep doing what we do on a daily basis, knowing that we're not going to get it.
Yeah.
But with the expectation that one day they'll come back and say, you know what?
Yeah.
I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Even from a phone call.
Yeah.
You know what, Pops? Look, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
You know what, Pops? I understand why you did it. I got mine now and I get it.
Yo, my mother, I called her. It was like something, the heartbeat on legs. So my mother used to always tell me, boy, you don't know. Every something that happens to you, it happens to me. You're my heartbeat with legs. Child, like, yo, that's girly shit. Mother's always talking, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, Ma. But when I had my children and then they begin to move around and like do haphazard things and hurt their body, I was like, oh, that hurt me. Like, I actually felt that. Like, so wait a minute. Now I get it. I say, your mom, I get it. And all the time that I had you thinking and like on the edge of your seat, I apologize. And I didn't realize
that pain in the chest. That pain in the chest is much more than any physical pain you can receive in life.
Yeah.
When your child hurts and you have no way of being able to help them, there's no pain that can suffice, that can go over that. There's no pain that can exist over that pain of you knowing that your child is going through something. There's nothing that you can do to be able to help them. That's why we try to guide them properly when they're young. That's why we try to keep them within the path that we believe would be their best path. But at the end of the day, all we can do is advise.
That's it.
All we can do is advise, because at one point in life, they will take their own path.
Yeah.
And then hopefully everything we've said throughout all those years is standing there in their conscience, just talking to them in their ear.
I believe it is, though, because like the one thing that one of the scriptures that I stand on is that like his word will return void. Like you train up a child, he won't depart from it. And like I'm living proof of it. Even some of my own beliefs and standards, I'm like, where did these come from? But it's literally the nature of how I was brought up, and just the constant drilling of certain things. And like you said before, like the more you tell them, the more it's something that's going to come back to. You know what I'm saying? And the blessing is that we know that it won't come back void if we put the work in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, regardless if they like it or not, because it's at phases where they're not going to. And the hardest part is disciplining your baby. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
disciplining the you out of your baby.
Facts. Because boy, my son is like showing me more and more of me. And he's getting close to his 7th year now. Oh my God. Help me.
I know what you mean. I've been there. Bruh. Trust me, I know what you mean.
So this is, and to this point too, I really wanted to talk about us fathers suffering in silence, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And going to that point, I really want to say, you know, that, and for those fathers out there that hold the resentment towards your father. Mm. God said, if I have forgiven you, why not forgive?
Right.
We need to understand that those were other times. They lived barbaric times. Yeah. Their minds were barbaric.
Everything
they did not have the comprehension that we have today.
Correct.
Right? So it is, yes, they should have had that. But what are we going to do? Are we going to live in resentment our whole life? And then the day that they are about to pass, that they're in bed, that's when we want to forgive? Mm. If we're going to forgive anyways, why not forgive now?
Right. Right. Don't put off what you can do today for tomorrow. Don't do it, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Like, I tell a story all the time about one of my clients, about he first came to me. The reason he came to me because he wanted to get the confidence to be able to talk to his father and tell him the things he felt. But because he had a tumultuous relationship with him, it was up and down, he was nervous of even coming to him by his feelings. So I asked him, you sure you want to just do it right away and just see what happens? No, I want to work up to it. 2 or 3 months later, bro, he calls me. I'm in the middle of a session. I'm about to call him. I'm ready, coach. Go ahead. Let's go. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I got a call.
Said that in one of our episodes.
Got a call, bro. And next call I got from him was, my dad's dead. I didn't get a chance.
What do we do at that point? What do we do at that point? Then we got to live with that resentment.
And then you got to come holler and sit down and go through the process of grief. You got to sit down and deal with the remorse, the guilt that you got to deal with. You got to get through all that, because now it's going to sit heavy on you.
Because the reality is that 90%, 80% of the fathers that are out there, when they are strong on their kids, is with all the best intention in their heart.
Right.
It's because they see us going in a path that we should have not been going in, and they want us to find our path. They want us to be better than they were.
Right.
They don't want us to suffer as they did.
Correct, bro.
But when we're teenagers, we don't understand that. When we're young, we don't understand that. We see it as, oh, he hates me. He doesn't love me. Why does he do this? Why does he treat me like this? Why doesn't he let me hang out with my friends all day outside? Well, probably he saw something in one of those friends that isn't convenient for you.
But
and you don't notice that until you're older.
Right.
Then you're older and you say, damn, that's why Pops ain't want to let me hang out with this dude. Look at him. He's doing 20 to life right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And what we don't realize is that while we're in the age of being children, we don't realize that there are eyes that came before us that can see different things around us. See, we can only see the picture from where we are, but there's somebody that's outside of the picture that's there at the frame.
Seeing it all.
Yes. And sees it with an experienced eye, right? It's not just you're seeing it at their age. You're seeing it with experience of years and understanding of what comes later if this continues to go on, yes. Right? So that's why I think it's important for us to not only be an example, but explain our examples to our children. And if we as individuals can't articulate what we're doing or what we're going through, when it's time to express to our children how to deal with them, will we be able to have that conversation with them?
And not if we haven't healed ourselves, it's impossible.
And this is why, like, bro, this week's conversation about men that are suffering in silence, it hit me so hard this week because a friend of mine posted and I reposted. He said, "I pray that men are winning the war that they refuse to speak about." You see what I'm saying? Like, and when he said that, I was like, "Oh my God, there are so many things that men won't speak about." And this past week, one of my clients and I had a breakthrough, and the breakthrough was he realized that his insecurities he has right now came from his disobedience to his own moral code. So, one of the things I have a list of a couple things that men suffer with and don't speak about. And the one that I'm speaking about right now that my client brought about was body image and self-esteem, right? And body shaming and all those things. So what we did this week was we addressed the insecurity and we went back to the genesis of it. Where did it come from? Why do you feel this way? And we went down a long road, right? We went down a long road. It was crazy because you can tell when a man doesn't want to release something or say it because he's embarrassed or there's some kind of guilt behind it.
Yeah.
And I kept feeling that with him. And I'm like, bro, we gotta go to the nerve. We gotta go to the core of this issue. What is it? Where did it come from? So as we broke the issue down and we got down to the end of it all, it broke down and came back to the fact of, well, I can say it now. He had issues with his body, his man figure. He was comparing himself to other men. You would say to yourself, what other men is he watching in their manhood, right? Corn.
The group?
No, bro. We on YouTube. Corn. Follow me, bro.
Got it. Bang. Got it.
So
damn YouTube terminologies.
we gotta have like
for real.
We gotta have a key on the side right here. Like, all right, this word means this.
I'm like, what?
What's corn?
Why the group corn? Like, what? What am I talking about? Corn.
Yeah, bro. We gotta stay in the guidelines. You know what I mean? But we realized that his genesis of his insecurity about his manhood came from because he was comparing himself to people he was watching on those videos.
Mind you, those people have a cut. All right.
Right. And also, too, comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah.
What are you doing comparing yourself to anything
else? Yes.
What are you doing?
Yes.
That you're going against your own moral compass.
Yes.
This is where that insecurity came from. But guess what? Because he was fighting in silence, he would have never beat it. But until he articulated and went down the quote unquote shameful path of admitting it, stating it, articulating it, he was able to get past it and understand where it came from. Oh, now I'm comparing myself to these porn stars.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like that you birthed that own insecurity out of something you wasn't supposed to be doing in the first place.
Yeah, and once you get like during immaturity, when you're indulging and watching porn,
good job.
It's one thing, but once you become a man of family,
yeah,
and you start trying to be the leader of your family, you start trying to follow the word of God, and you start reading of what this does to you, and you get to a point that you start realizing that indulging in that is just trying to fulfill an empty space within you.
Yes.
That can only be fulfilled one other way.
That's it.
One way.
That's it. God himself.
So it's a big internal fight that you have to one day be able to look within and say, you know what? I need to do differently. I need to act differently. If I want my fruits, the fruits of my labor, to be able to follow within my steps, this isn't the way. This is not what I want for them.
And honestly, bro, like, you can't fight the devil by yourself.
Never. And he's out there. He's out there.
And you can't beat him.
He's out there fighting. He wants you.
Think about it.
He wants
the devil
you.
is just as old as God is, bro.
Yeah.
We ain't been around that long. We don't have the capacity to fight this and win.
And one thing that people don't understand is that he uses what's closest to you to fight you. He will use your spouse. He will use your children. He will use what he knows can trigger you.
Yeah.
Will be what he uses to see you lose your temper.
Absolutely.
To see you come out of your shell.
Facts.
So that's when you have to step back and say, this isn't right. I shouldn't be doing this. Let me calm down. Wait. Your kid just pissed you off. Wait.
I'm gonna step away.
Let me step away.
Let me get up out of here for 2 minutes.
Let me breathe.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to lose my shit.
Facts.
You know, and that's not the only point of men fighting in silence.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest ones that we see is, and I would say probably by experience, is not probably, but by experience, is how we deal with the loss of an unborn child.
Mm. That could be a whole episode by itself, bro.
Dealing with that. How we deal with the loss of an unborn child as men, right? Because at the end of the day, it's always said and it's always mentioned on how the woman goes through the situation, right? Because it's dumb. They're carrying the baby.
Rightfully so.
They're carrying the baby, and the attachment is much deeper when it comes to them.
Absolutely.
Right? But we become attached as well.
Yes.
The moment we are told.
The moment you find out.
The moment we are told that we are about to have a child, whether you've had 20 already, each child is different.
Absolutely.
The moment you are told that you are about to have a child, you start making plans.
Absolutely.
You start visualizing what that is.
You go down
how this baby is going to look.
Right.
And what can I do differently? How could I be a better father than I was before? How can I change the things that I should have not done before and make it right this time?
Right.
And then the situation happens and we have to dwell silently.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to show those emotions because, you know, at the end of the day, we're not asked, how do you feel?
No.
Are you all right? Because we're not supposed, quotes, to hurt because we weren't the ones carrying the child.
And that's going to the ignorance of men's feelings in a nutshell, because just because the stereotypical man, right, doesn't show his emotions doesn't mean he doesn't have them.
Doesn't mean he doesn't have them.
So being that he has them, he has to suppress them because, number one, he feels bad for even having to consider his feelings because everyone should be concerned about her. So our internal conflict is, well, I'm not important right now. Like we all focus should be on her. But if somebody doesn't come and see about you in that space, that's unresolved trauma.
You go into a spiral.
Yeah.
You go into a spiral. You can hit a really dark place without even noticing.
Yes, sir.
Without even noticing. Because not only are you trying to be the strongest you can be for your wife and for your children also, right? Because they just found out as well.
Right.
But then you have to bottle all these feelings that sooner or later, once that bottle fills, that cap is gonna blow. Yeah. And when it blows, what comes out of it
is more destructive than
is Pandora's box.
Yeah. It's more destructive than the initial you just stating whatever the issue was.
It's Pandora's box. Because you know who pays for it when it comes out? Your wife, the kids, at work, everybody.
Yeah. Everyone that's connected to you.
Because you go into a self-destructive road when all of that could have been stopped with one person saying, hey, how you feeling, bro?
Yeah.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Are you okay? and not leave it to them to figure out if they're okay or not.
Yeah. And honestly, bro, like we have to make sure that we're honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, say the thing that makes you uncomfortable. That's what we have to practice as men. We have to, as fathers, husbands, and leaders, we have to practice saying the things that make us uncomfortable. Say the things that takes that S off your chest for a second, right? Say the thing that makes that cape on your back a little flimsy, because that's the truth. That's where you really are. Like, us fighting in silence is the biggest cowardice move we can make.
Yeah.
Right? We think that, oh, we're holding ourselves up and we're being tough and we're keeping ourselves together for quote unquote our family, but we're destroying ourselves in the name of our family. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We're internally destroying ourselves so for external purposes we can seem like we're okay.
Yeah.
And the only person that we're fooling is truly ourselves.
Truly ourselves. Nobody else. Nobody else.
And honest to God, like I think that the thought process of us having to be strong is what's killing us, because no one said that we have to be strong all the time, because there's not one being on this earth that is strong or was strong at all points. Even the greatest in which we model our life after was not strong at all points on this earth. He had to fall to what? His human, to him being an absolute human being.
Yep.
And if we can get to the point where we're just being absolute human beings, not just men, right? Males, right? Big dogs, but just humans operating in what we have naturally, our emotions, thought processes, and really understanding and flowing in those without the macho, right?
You'll be all right.
The facades, because that's what's killing
I got
us.
this.
That's killing us.
I got this.
You don't have it.
Go ahead.
Because when the man tells me he got this,
Really don't.
instantaneously, I'm asking myself, oh my God, what are you fighting with quietly?
Help.
What are you too scared to say?
And it's 99% of men.
And bro, one thing we all have to realize, we're all alike. We're all the same. The reason I even bring, am I the only one? For the relation factor of it all. There isn't one man that isn't dealing with something. You're on the list right now. That we can't go through it, obviously, because we're running out of time. But the list of things that men are fighting: mental health, mental illnesses. This is a big one. Loneliness, bro. You don't know how many Reddit posts that I read throughout a week from men that are saying they're in their home with their beautiful families,
and they're still all alone.
They're
still all alone.
And let me give you the root of that. The root of it is they're alone because they haven't let themselves deal with the real issues that they're dealing with. I'm gonna feel alone if I don't tell you what's really going on with me. Because if I don't tell you, you don't know.
It's that loneliness comes really from the lack of communication.
Yeah.
The lack of communication.
And being
and the lack of communication for a prolonged time.
Facts.
Because then it gets to a point that there's no communication that you can have that's going to fix it immediately.
Right.
You can speak about it till you turn red at that point. It doesn't matter because you held it for the past 5 years.
And not only did you hold it, but you put on meanings to what you held.
Yeah.
So in your mind, being that you didn't say nothing or they don't care about me, them not saying nothing is now defined to you as they don't care about me. But in no actuality, in their mind, dad's fine. Dad is being dad. Dad doesn't want to be bothered, right? That's our energy we give off. So in their minds, their thought process, well, I'm doing what dad wants, is being left alone. But let me tell y'all the truth that's listening for your dad. He don't want to be left alone. There's something going on internally he just wants to talk about, but he doesn't know how to talk about it. He doesn't know how to come off without losing his cape. He doesn't know how to come off without seeming like he's less of himself, because he has to have this facade or this look of this powerful, utmost leader. But the truth is, inside of every man, I don't care who he is, what age he is, there's still a boy inside of him. There's still a little boy that just wants to be just be seen. Just wants to be heard, wants to be appreciated. That's all. That is all. So for the people out there that have those dads that are constantly, oh, leave me alone, I'm good. Help him heal. He needs you. And for the dads that are right now listening right now, and you're kind of frustrated, I'm saying this and I'm letting this out. Come out of your emotional incarceration, bro.
Yeah.
Come out of that prison cell that you're putting yourself in every single morning you wake up. And I'm just so passionate about this because I've walked out of that cell and put myself back into it many a days because I thought nobody would understand me. I thought that I couldn't be understood.
And every day that we wake up, we make a decision to continue being the person that we are.
Absolutely.
It is our decision, right? God gave us the opportunity to wake up one more day. Why are we wasting it being so stubborn?
Bro, that's why I said emotional incarceration, and you willingly go into that cell every morning. And every
morning, you open the door to the cell.
Yeah.
Put yourself in there and throw the key outside so that somebody can come and unlock it for you when it's time for you to go to bed.
That's it. That is it. We only come out for Father's Day, birthdays.
And truthfully,
Christmas.
Once again, we put ourselves in that cell.
Right.
We need to be able to understand when we wake up in the morning, you know what? I'm not going to do this to myself. I will not be that person again. We gotta distinctly and discipline yourself to it.
Yes. Intentionally choose joy. Intentionally choose your happiness.
It takes much more muscles in your face to frown than it takes to smile.
Facts. That's a fact.
The happier you live, the longer you live.
Facts. And then one thing I would say, fellas, before we get up out of here is that you've never seen a fighter in a fight worry about the noise that they're making, right? You never see Floyd Mayweather in the ring like, shh, let me not punch because I don't want it, it's too noisy.
No.
In a fight, it's loud, right? It's violent. It's commotion, right? Things are happening in a fight. And you can't worry about the volume. So fellas, stop fighting in silence. You're hurting yourself and hurting the people around you way more than you can even imagine. And the only thing you really have to do is allow yourself just to be vulnerable, transparent, and be uncomfortable for a little while. And trust in the people that you love. Trust in the love that they have for you. Because if you can trust in their love for you, it'll be easier for you to be more vulnerable with them, more transparent with them, and be willing to just bear it all with them. So the next part I really want to address is the work-life balance, right? Like, there are men who won't say that they're struggling in that area. And because they won't say that, bro, they're, like you said earlier, they're lashing out on their family. They're going to work, being ineffective at their job. They're having spats with their boss and coworkers, all because they're having a problem with balancing it. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, as a man who went from working a 9-to-5 into entrepreneurship, I had a hard time understanding the balance, right? And it took my mentor to show me, like, it's never going to be a 50-50 thing.
Yeah, never.
You understand? Like,
never.
You're going to have to remove some things and seasons and times, take some time from one thing to put it in certain places, because time you can't control, right? You can't make more time. So you have to take what time you have and disperse it differently. And communicate in the dispersion of that time differently to your family around you to understand, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think there's a lot of times we have issues in the work-life balance because we don't communicate to our family what we need to be okay inside of that work-life balance.
Yeah, and when it comes to the work-life balance, if we allow ourselves to not have that balance, we will go down. It ends up being our fault. Because you know what? At the end of the day, no matter how irreplaceable you try to make yourself, you're replaceable.
Facts.
You're replaceable.
That's a big fact.
So you need to set those boundaries. You need to set those boundaries. Now, if you feel that in the field that you're in, you love what you're doing, and you putting in a little bit extra work isn't obstructing that balance between life and work, then by all means, You do what you need to do to be able to succeed in your profession.
Right.
But understanding that you can be replaced.
At home and at work.
Yes. So, that was tough. At home and at work.
Ooh, that stings. Because I don't care what you say, fellas. You think you're irreplaceable, but time will replace anything.
The biggest problem that we have as men is that we prioritize work over our home and over our family.
Yeah.
We look at the dollar sign and not the time that we're investing to get that dollar that we will never get back.
Facts.
Never. But then you know when we'll start analyzing, damn, why did I waste all my time? Either the day you get released or the day your children are old enough and you're not getting that fruit back.
Walking up out of there.
You're not getting the fruit of the labor that you should have put in that home.
Right. Nah, don't let that be you, fellas. Make sure that you're doing, the Bible says, what is it gain a man for him to gain the world and lose his soul? Right?
Say that again.
What does it gain a man for him to gain the world and lose his soul? But I also changed that to what does it gain a man to gain the world and lose his home? Because I know a lot of men, I got a few clients that are multi-millionaires, that they would give up their whole entire estate and their profile, their portfolio, just to get back their wife and children.
To have their family.
Just to get it back. And here I am, and other men are who don't have the resources and finances like they do, and like, oh, they got it all together. And meanwhile, they'll tell you in a heartbeat, bro, you are rich. You're so rich.
You're so rich.
We gotta get that t-shirt still popping. We still gotta get that t-shirt popping. But yo,
don't mention it too loud, then they'll take our idea.
Come on, y'all, don't do us dirty. Be nice to us. We'll get your t-shirt.
Y'all part of the Imperfect.
Right. All you gotta do is order one. That's all.
Jesus.
Yo,
merch coming soon.
Thanks. Emotional expression, bro, is a big one. Because the fact that we don't express our emotions is a learned behavior. Right? The unexpressing of our emotions is a learned behavior. So the fact that the issue with us is expressing our feelings, first of all, we have to, number one, make it okay for ourselves. Give ourselves the permission to feel.
Yes.
It's okay. If you have to cry, it's okay. Like, it doesn't make you less of a man to express what makes you sad.
You know how much you can hold yourself back by not giving you the permission that you need? By not giving yourself the permission that you need. We are greatness. Mm-hmm. But until we don't give ourselves the permission to be greatness,
we'll tap into it.
We'll never tap into it.
Possible.
Same thing happens when you're artistically and when you're artistic, when you're creative.
Right.
If you don't give yourself the permission to be creative,
right,
to express your creativity,
mm-hmm.
then what was why are you even creative?
Right.
Why it wasn't for yourself, it was a God-given gift.
Right. And you have the ability, that means it was given to you for you to use.
So why not give yourself the permission to do and show so that others can follow?
Because the problem is the others.
We just had the computer shut off, but it's fine because it's still.
And listen. As you know,
y'all didn't hear the click.
But all of a sudden, everything was like. I'm like, are we still recording? Everything still good? Listen, man. This is Imperfect Fathers podcast.
Yes, sir.
Real time. But I think for us men, it's important for us to really get into the space of feeling what we feel.
Yes.
And get out of the habit of trying to tell ourselves what we don't feel.
What we don't feel. Instead of telling ourselves, this is what I feel.
Right.
I need to do this because of X, Y, Z. And say you're going to.
Right.
Not I want to. Because I want to will turn into tomorrow.
Yeah.
That will then turn into next tomorrow. That will then turn into next week or next month or next year.
Never where he shows up.
But if you say, I'm going to do this tomorrow, write that shit down.
Word.
Put it on paper.
Word.
And follow through.
Get on it. Facts.
Because once you put it on paper, it becomes reality.
It's a document. Facts.
Becomes reality.
Write it down. It becomes a document.
If you continue to say, well, I want to be great.
I wish I can.
I want to be great, you know. I want to be able to fly.
Oof. I believe. Yo,
I'm sorry.
Shout out, man.
Even those that don't have wings, when they say they'll have wings, they'll find a way to fly spiritually.
Facts. That is a true statement. You got to want it bad enough.
You got to want it.
Yeah. Now, this one here is going to be very triggering for fellas, and I understand it because it's something that we've based our life on, right? Most of us fellas have based our existence on our manhood, right? Our manhood. And honestly, when we get to the age around our 50s and 60s and we haven't taken care of ourselves and that ED shows up, that's a very sensitive topic to a lot of our fellas in the world. Fellas, what I want to say is, don't let your embarrassment kill you. Don't let what you're ashamed of be the thing that takes you out of here. Like, you don't have to deal with these things alone. There are doctors. There are different ways to go online that you can be discreet, right? If this is one of your issues, and I know it's a hard thing to deal because a lot of us have based on our actual vibrato of who we are on our man piece, right? Because we thought that's what made us a man. So if you haven't unlearned that and you're now having ED issues, you could be in a very messed up tailspin mentally. And say something. Don't fight this alone. There are other men in the world who are dealing with the same issue. There are doctors, there are programs, there are somebody out there that can help you overcome this. Don't fight this alone.
Yeah. And another thing adding to that we fight with as men a lot, and because of our ego and our fear of what somebody else might think, is prostate cancer.
Yes. Yes.
Because we're afraid that another man is going to touch our booty hole.
Hello.
And then we prolong.
Yeah.
And prolong and prolong. Hey, I'm sorry. I needed to add to that. No Diddy.
Yeah. Facts.
So yeah, no Diddy. And we prolong the situation. The next thing you know, we're in a place where that is also causing ED.
Right. And it's irreversible at that point.
At that point.
You know what I'm saying? And fellas, do not take something that can be reversed now early and allow it to get to the point where you can't, only because you was embarrassed. You're not the only one. You're not the first one, the only one, and you won't be the last. I can promise you that.
Don't make permanent decisions for temporary problems.
Facts. Literally. One thing that you don't want to do, you don't want to allow your guilt or your shame to be the very thing that takes you out of this earth because you just wouldn't talk about it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you look at it, the totality of that, you don't want to let that be the reason why you're taking up out of here.
Yep.
Because your fear of what someone else says is the actual reason you will lose your life. Yep. Or you're suffering silence. You know what I'm saying? So no one else's thought process or words about you should matter more about you than your own about yourself. And this is why what somebody else thinks about you is null and void when it comes to your health, your mental health, and your thought process, and how you carry yourself and who you are as an individual. Nothing else should matter more than how much you care about yourself.
Sure.
I just put a post up online and it sent the people in church crazy. I said, you believe in God means nothing if you don't believe in yourself. Some dude was like, oh my God, that's a new age. Like, if he abides in you, you wouldn't believe in him that abides in you? Where does he abide at? So that right there is like, oh, I'm not having a conversation with you no more. You're here, I'm here. We're not saying on the same page right now.
It's that mentality. It's that ignorant mentality that they have, and it's It's like, yeah, this is the way I learned it, and that's it.
That's right. That's the only way.
That's it.
It's one way and only way.
That's it. Well, if we were to go by, because I'm of the Catholic faith, and I know my mother's gonna probably tear me a new one because of this one. But if we read the Bible to the T, what we live as Catholics, there's a lot of things that contradict what the Bible says.
Facts. That's a fact. That is a major fact. That's all religions,
and with Christians as well.
Yes, sir.
And so on and so forth. So times have changed, and we can't continue to live as if we lived 2,000 years ago.
Right. Everything has evolved.
Those days of anarchy and barbarism, we're a society now. We're a society.
Barbarians.
We kind of are on some things, but we're a society.
We've evolved. Thank God, for the most part.
So those rules, those archaic rules that existed during those days, if that book was written today,
it would not stand.
It wouldn't be the same. And if we continue to live by those rules, then that means that women won't be able to have a say.
Right.
Then that means that if your child was born autistic, he's gonna get killed.
Right.
And so then where is the actual love and compassion that the Bible teaches us?
Right. But that's also too is like, we got to get out of the interpretation of our forefathers. We're still reading the Bible with the interpretations of yesteryears.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yesteryear's brain and thought process.
Yeah.
The best part about the Bible to me is that every time I read one scripture, I get a new interpretation. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the best part about reading the Bible. Like, if you read that book 100 times, you'll get 100 different revelations. And that's why I'm just like, all right, well, I'm not so caught up in what you believe it says for you. I'm now in the space of trying to go in deep and not so much why.
It's the context.
Yes.
Back then it was broken down to scriptures, right? And they would grab a verse and they'll make that verse a word of truth. That verse, word of truth.
No, didn't read the top.
Not what
the bottom.
Not where it came from.
Right.
Or where it led.
Right.
That didn't exist.
Right.
They didn't. No.
That scripture.
Just that.
Had a whole 3-hour sermon on it.
On that scripture.
That's it.
That one verse.
Yeah.
That one verse.
And taking it completely out of context.
Verse 16:36. That's it, right there.
That's it.
Not 35, not 37, not 34. Not how it led to that. No. And that was usually taken out of context.
Right.
It was usually taken out of context because when you go back and you read the context, and you're like, that's not what it read.
I don't think that's what he meant.
And that's when the light bulb actually turns on.
Right.
That's when you start understanding, like, this makes sense now.
And now that's what my turn on is like. I want to go in deeper now. I want to get a better understanding.
Exactly. That's when you start now. Not only are you going back to 3-4 verses before, now you want to read the whole book.
Right. You cross-referencing. You're like, wait a minute. So he was in this chapter in this book. He's over here in this one too. What are you doing in this chapter? And now I even have to the point where we're going on one of those tangents we talked about earlier. Shout out to your cousin. Tangent. But I now have the what's the word when you go in order?
Chronicle.
I have the chronological Bible now, bro. It's dope. So, because before I was having a hard time trying to put the pieces together. I'm sorry, y'all. We're back to the topics now. So our list, because we gotta get through these right now. So the sexual health is definitely something. Also, too, it's not just so much about your performance, right? We'll have a lot of regards not want to talk about our performance, but also learning, right? Learning about your sexuality, learning what drives you, what turns you on, what doesn't, even your partner, right? Those things, have those conversations, because a lot of times we're assuming And we have relationships where years go past where our women are not satisfied because we assumed
Yeah.
what they desired. Or our last woman before her wanted this, so we're going to do it with her now because we know that all women want this.
Yeah. You know what? Assuming, right?
Yeah. Make a nice
ass of you and me.
That's it. Make a nice one out of yourself.
Yup.
So, fellas, make sure that you're speaking up in your sexual health as well. Now, we're going to go through these next couple kind of fast. Parenting challenges. Parental challenges. That's one that is a sensitive issue. Yeah. Because you know how you were raised, but you don't know all the way how your wife was raised.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to you guys coming together and collaboratively raising your children, there are going to be times where you have a certain outlook on things, and she has a certain outlook on things. And because you guys can't see the eye to eye, it's kind of embarrassing. Sometimes you don't want to go to your friend or your man like, yo, bro, me and my girl beefing about how I talked to my child today. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not something that we just want to talk about, but it's something that we can relate with because you've been through it. I've been through it. So if we've been through it together, what's the embarrassment?
Yeah.
Right? What's that about? So we have to get past that just to see, like, bro, I'm only dealing with what's life. We dealing with life. We ain't dealing with nothing that only we're dealing with personally.
It's because the reality is that at the end of the day, we don't want to make it seem as if we made a mistake about the person that we're with and that we're choosing to stay with. Hear me out. If as a man you feel that if you go and you say, damn, me and my wife had bumped heads because of a issue that occurred, in your mind you're thinking that the next person you're speaking to is looking at your wife in a negative state.
Right. Yeah.
When in reality, that's not the case.
No.
It also depends on who it is that you're speaking to.
Right.
Because if you're a dumbass and you decided that you're gonna talk to a shorty about your wife, then you done fucked up.
Oh my God.
then you done fucked up. you get what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because now what you're doing is you're opening Pandora's box and telling her, hey, you got a leeway in. What's good?
We know if she's listening to you, she's not listening with a pure ear.
Exactly. So if the person that you speak to must be somebody that has your best interest, her best interest at heart.
Right.
Don't go speak to somebody that's single.
Jose, say that again.
Because you done fucked up again if you go speak to somebody that's single. Facts. If you are married, if you are in a relationship and you want to keep your relationship, then your confidant must not be single.
No.
Because that person, all they want to do is hang out and club.
Yeah.
And that will trigger something within you that you're trying to get away from, which is the reason why you got married and decided to have a family. Because if not, then you would have stayed single.
Facts. Truthfully. Because I speak highly about being married, but I also speak highly about being single. I didn't suffer when I was a single man. Not saying I'm suffering now as a married man for all you out there that want to play with words. Jeez. I'm not suffering as a married man.
So
I'm happy.
At the end of the day, the reality is that misery loves company.
Facts.
And if you are speaking about your problems to somebody who's miserable, doesn't mean that when you're single, you're miserable. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm trying to make a correlation.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you speak to somebody who's miserable about your problems, the energy that they are going to give you,
come on, have this pity party with me,
is of misery.
Come on, I want company. I know you need company.
Yep.
So no, and the best thing you can do is speak to someone that's relatable, meaning someone that's in it, been in it,
that understands,
that's has some time in. Because at the end of the day,
men, hear him clearly.
Yes,
men, hear him clearly.
Do not run to your best friend and talk to him because he's your best friend. He is only going to give you advice from the standpoint of his
experience,
best friend,
of his experience,
where he is in his life.
Tell me who are the 5 people you call when you have an issue with your wife. If that person can't stand up for you, if those 5 people can't stand up for your wife, you should not be calling them.
Yeah, facts.
And it goes the other way also. If your wife's 5 people, 5 choices when she has an issue, can't stand up for you, they are not the people she should be calling.
Right.
Because for a relationship to work, it takes a village.
Facts. They're not lying about
It's
that.
not only raising kids. For a relationship also to work, it takes a village. And it's communication, love, comprehension, and knowing that the people that you have around you have your best interests.
Facts. They want to see your nucleus.
The devil is roaming and he wants to get involved in everything.
He's out seeking. He may devour and destroy. He's out trying to get you. So
Divide and conquer.
that's what he do.
Yep.
The last 3, and we tapped on one just now, the relationship problems, which basically we just talked about. That's a major one, Jose. I'm glad you said that, because a lot of us will run to the one that tickles our ear when we're upset.
That tells us what we think we want to hear.
Right. Oh yeah, nah. She ain't. You ain't wrong.
My dog, for real?
Yeah, nah. She
For real?
She whack. I
wouldn't take that. You crazy?
You ain't gotta take that. You
crazy,
You the
son.
man, son.
You crazy?
Stand on business.
I'm the man of the house, bro. Ain't nobody gonna do that to me, son.
Now, mind you, you in your house by yourself. You ain't got nobody in your house. You tell him, not in my house. Yeah, you're right. You're the only one in that place.
Listen.
Fellas, don't do it, man. Please.
Listen.
And for the fellas that's out there giving that lame ass advice, just shut up.
Facts.
Just shut the hell up.
Go
If your
get somebody
man comes to
tea, bro.
you when he's down and you know that he's in a space where you can't help him, just shut the hell up. Be an ear. That's what you gotta do. Just be an ear.
Just be an ear.
Don't offer them none of your dumbass advice, because they ain't gonna do nothing but hurt them.
You know how far, damn, bro, I hear you, son, can go? That's it. If your advice isn't gonna help the situation now, if this man's wife is beating the shit out of you, then I advise you to say whatever you need to say. That's different.
Yeah,
that's different.
That's big different.
That's different.
That's big different.
But if all they doing is having regular couple issues, and we all know that there's a wide variety of couple issues that exists.
Facts.
It's not abuse. Hands aren't being laid. Right. It's not physical or emotional abuse. Right. Then don't give your opinion if it's not one that's not gonna help the relationship, so that the family nucleus doesn't get destroyed.
Correct.
Because you planting that seed against that family nucleus, sooner or later it's gonna become a small plant.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, what's gonna happen? It's gonna be a big plant. Yeah, because somebody else is also gonna add some fertilizer to that plant. And then somebody else is gonna add some more fertilizer. And then next thing you know, that plant is bearing apples.
Yeah.
And we all know what happened last time the apple was eaten.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Eve. Yo, so the last 2, man, and this one here is something that is near and dear to me: substance abuse. So last year, I decided I was going to take about some time away from smoking weed. I was smoking weed my almost my whole adult life, and it was something I picked up when I was in high school as a fun thing, and then it became a dependency. 18 years dependency. So this past 3 months, and from November to December, I told myself, and shout out to my business partner, one of my homies, Chris McBride. He challenged me. He said, "Bro, let's put it down for 3 months. Let's see if we can go without it. Let's just step away from it." And what I didn't realize was my chemical dependency that I had made myself have because of it. It started out as something I did for fun, and it became a dependency.
And it has to do a lot with the age you started.
Correct. I started out as a child. So listen to you young boys.
While in development.
Hear me good.
Bad.
Don't play with it. You don't need it. You don't need to find out what it feels like until later. And honestly, you ain't missing nothing. Trust me when I'm telling you, it's more of a hassle for you to get rid of it than it is for you to pick it up. So hear me good. Don't do it. To my young boys, don't do it. Just leave it alone. To my older ones that are dealing with it, understand where the dependency is. Understand why you're going towards it, and don't fight that demon alone. Because when I was suffering in those 3 months, because I was suffering because it was a new thing for me. I had to go back into my life and relearn how to live without it because I was dependent on it. And I couldn't fight it by myself because when I'm alone by myself, I have 101 reasons why I can do it and it's justified. Oh, you can do it. Ain't nobody watching. Are you stressed out right now? Are you tired? Go smoke and you get some good sleep. All these things were just quote unquote reasonings of going back on my word. But because I had someone that I was talking to on day-to-day, yo, Chris, bro, I'm struggling. I even went on social media. I told people that was following me, listen, for the next 3 months, I'm going through some things. I need y'all help. Hold me accountable. Because if I didn't say that, if I didn't articulate it, I wouldn't be able to do it. Because by myself, I'm not man enough to fight demons. And none of us are. This is why we can't fight, especially substance abuse by ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. You know, I've seen the destruction of people that I would have never thought to be in that situation, and to see them grow and have an expectation of seeing them becoming great, and then falling into that realm, and losing everything. That one hurts. That one hurts
because they're fighting with things internally too that they
didn't vocalize.
Yes,
that they did not vocalize. Even after being asked continuously, "Yo, what's going on? Yo, what's going on? Yo, I see you changing. Yo, what's going on? Talk to me."
Right.
That's a hard one. But going back to the dependencies and kids trying this at a young age, parents, fathers, talk to your children.
Please.
Please do. Because you smoke doesn't mean that you can't talk to them and have them understand what you're going through, right, so that they don't do it. Correct. You did it because your friends were doing it. You wanted to seem cool. Now all of a sudden it's become an extreme dependency that you can't live without. Right. Is that what you want for your child? And the only way that you can stop that,
by showing it and expressing it,
is by explaining what you are going through so that they understand that it's not a game, that it's not something to play with. When a child is in development, which means the essential years, teenage years, all the way to 21, if they grow a dependency on marijuana, on weed, they will not release that dependency ever.
They're going to walk through a life with it. It's going to be one of the hardest things in their life to do. So for the young ones, stay away from it. Do yourself a favor later on. Do yourself a favor. And last but not least, and we're going to get up out of here on this note, financial pressures.
Woo.
Every man will have to deal with this pressure. I don't care who you are and where you are in the globe. You will have this pressure.
Yeah.
And like any other one of these battles, you're not the only one. You don't have to be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Understand that the best of best have been where you are. And the only difference between now you where you are and then where they are is the work that happens between. As long as you're putting the work in, you're going to make it. Don't fall out. Don't give up on yourself. Stick down with your process and your plan, because the stress of finances are always going to be there, but don't allow that to take you out of here. And shout out to you, bro, because just simply, you said a few minutes ago about being an ear. I had a financial issue the other day when I was sitting over here and you simply told me, yo, bro, go outside on a hammock and go to sleep. That was the best thing anyone ever did. Because what I didn't do was I didn't go home and spaz on my wife. What I didn't do was go out there and be aggravated and do something or operate in some of my frustrated behaviors and do something that I regretted. But I went out there and got some sleep, came back with a clear head, and was able to go take care of the issue with no problem. That is what it's all about. So don't allow the financial stress to be your demise, because trust me, each and every one of us either in it, been through it, or at some point will go through it.
Financial pressure is the devil's tool to control you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every couple that argues over finances will sooner or later deteriorate.
Ooh.
Every couple that fights over finances will sooner or later deteriorate. And it comes down to some women not understanding the process that the man goes through to be able to get to where they need to get. Majority of men start seeing success around the age of 35, 40.
Facts. But the world we live in right now, bro, they tell you gonna be successful at 19. You got us really believing that we're behind at 19.
And what ends up happening is that a woman's maturity level at 35 is way beyond our maturity level at 35 as men. We start really maturing at 35. They've already matured at 35. So that's where the financial arguments come in, right? Oh, why aren't you taking care of this? Why aren't you taking care of that? Don't get me wrong. I'm not justifying the not standing up and doing what you have to do, but understanding the mental process will allow for the communication to exist, to be able to say, I haven't been able to do it. I haven't been able to get to where I want to get. Right. I'm struggling. Because when you can't vocalize that, then arguments start.
Facts. And that's where the real nucleus of the argument is, inside of that, not that being able not to articulate what's going on.
What's going on.
Facts.
So couples, try to not argue about finances if you guys believe that you guys belong together. Because once you begin to argue about finances, that is the beginning to your end.
Facts.
If you don't nip it.
Facts. And that's the one thing I can say about finances is like, yo, if you don't understand it, get someone to help you and your spouse understand it.
Yes.
Because majority of the demise in relationships come from finances. I don't have the exact stat, but I know it's a polarizing number of the relationships that have been in demise due to finances.
And I'm gonna add what I mentioned in every episode. And this falls right into it, where ego and humility cannot coexist.
Correct.
Because once you allow your ego to rise in, because you make more than your significant other, immediately there's going to be some sort of clash, some sort of head bumping. Now, I will say this comes more from women of success towards men that have not succeeded yet than from a man of success towards a woman. Because when men are making the money, it's not thrown unless you got a sis. He will not throw it in their face.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because it is our duty to provide.
Yeah.
It is our duty to protect. It is our duty to bring everything together as the leader of the household.
Right.
But when it comes the other way, and there's this strength behind finance, when the man isn't making enough, there's a tendency of being said, well, you ain't man enough because you ain't making enough.
But to that point is why I say money does not give you a position in the home.
It doesn't. But in the society that we live now, it's been placed as money is God.
Yeah. But
and that is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Once we start seeing money as God.
Mm-hmm. Because money didn't give you your status in your home. No one. From the mother, the father, to the children. Not $1 made those titles yours. So whether it's there or not there, it doesn't relinquish what you are. And this is why I love my wife to the moon and back, is because whether I bring in $100,000 or I bring in $10,000 for a year, I'm still the husband, father, and leader of my home.
Same here.
And for that is why I say $1 does not give you a position in your home. It does.
But the position is earned.
Oh, believe it. And that's earned daily, not through money, but through actions and how you carry yourself and your character as a man.
Actions. Daily, you must earn your position as the man of the household.
Yes.
Yes, you get your chance to slack here and there.
Yeah, of course. That's the boy.
But that doesn't mean that you ain't gonna pick yourself up by your bootstraps, like they say.
Come on.
And do what you got to do as the man of the house.
That's a fact. Hey, and as in a nutshell right now, guys, because
whether your woman makes more than you or not.
Facts. This is like, Jose, that was a phenomenal point. It does not matter if she makes more or less than you. If you're making more than her, it doesn't make you better or more than her. Let's put that out there as well, because for the individual, for the men who believe that just because they bring the dollar in the house, that's enough, you're wrong. Flat out, you're wrong.
And the issue comes to because she makes more than you, you believe that you don't deserve the position that you have, that you should have as a man. So therefore, you don't lead accordingly.
Right.
So what ends up happening is that because you're not leading accordingly, she's like, well, I need to take the lead.
By default.
And then what? Now you feel like a cuck. Because she doing what she needs to do.
I'm not even sure. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not even sure. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not showing you too.
If I gotta bleep it, I'll bleep it. I guess. Whatever. Just don't give us the strike.
Right.
Just
right.
let us know. Send us an email.
Right. Put it in the description. In the comments.
And we'll bring it down and cover it and bring it back up.
But
yeah, if you don't take the position of leader, if you don't lead accordingly, right? Don't expect for anyone to follow you.
Yeah.
Don't expect for anyone to follow you. Yeah. You need to lead accordingly. Right. Stand up. Do what you have to do within your position. Love, guide, protect, lead.
You already said, love, protect, guide, and lead. Fathers, happy Father's Day, man.
Whoop, whoop.
Happy Father's Day to you, bro.
That watch.
Yeah. Baby, check my card on Amazon. It's there. And fellas, if you didn't get anything from this episode, get this. Communicate. Whether you're comfortable with communicating or not, communicate. Don't assume that they're supposed to know what you want on this Father's Day. Make this Father's Day the first Father's Day that you open your mouth and articulate what you want. And don't assume that they know. Go with the assumption that they don't know what you want. And I can almost guarantee you that you're right with that assumption.
That's right.
My God, to you, happy Father's Day, bro.
Happy Father's Day to you as well.
Indeed.
Our Imperfects, happy Father's Day. Continue being imperfect.
Facts. Embrace that. It's who you are. You got no choice about that. As usual, we thank you guys, and we didn't tell y'all earlier, but we're going to tell y'all now. As always, like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast. Make sure that you're giving us the information. Talk to us down in the comments. Hold on, my studio host right now, Help, is trying to give me some information, but I can't understand what he's saying. Right. Hit the notification bell. Thank you. Bing, hit that bell because every time we upload some content, you will be notified first and foremost, and you won't have to wait to see us. So with that being said, Jose, you good for the last words?
Yes, sir. We are good.
All right, perfect, man. So with that being said, as always, fathers, to the world, you're just a dad. That's all you are. But to your family, you are their world. Don't forget that. Happy Father's Day. And until the next time we see y'all in these podcast streets, be good to yourself and the ones around you. But if you can't be good to the ones around you, that's okay. Don't trip. Just get those people from around you. Yo, this is RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and
JP, the Imperfect Husband.
And this has been another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Y'all be blessed, because we will. Peace, y'all.
Peace.